Being in business can be tough. Like there's things that you got to worry about on a day-to-day basis, and it's not all just about business. That's one of the mistakes that people make. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about, how people will say it's business, it's not personal. And we both looked at each other and we said business is personal. And the reason why business is personal, because you got to take care of family. You got to take care of the business. You got to take care of the workers. If you have employees or contractors, whatever that is, it's always going to come down to dealing with people. And the first person that you got to deal with in business, is yourself. Now, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to also give you something that could be like an automatic system, so to speak. That 3 simple steps that you can take to take one piece of your worries out of your mind. Something that is automatic, that has worked for me for years. I've been in business going on 35 years. And I'm here to tell you, if you could get this simple 3-step process in place, it'll give you more time to deal with all of the other stuff. Because let's just admit something. If you could go through all of the problems that you are going through right now, or look back at all of the problems and stuff that you went through in the past, if your income was never affected, that no matter what you went through, if it was something with family, something medical, anything, that if your income was never affected, how much difference would that have made in your life? It would make a lot of difference, because just like you, my family has went through a lot of stuff over the years. Business has went through a lot of stuff over the years. But if you can have something in place that is like something that is so dependable, it's like the lifeblood of your income that would come from your business, how much of a difference would that have made for you? To just know that you would not have to worry about the money, that you would just have to focus 100% on what's going on, either with the family, yourself, with health-wise, or stuff like that. Let me give you some good advice about being in business. It's something I learned a long time ago. And some of my friends that I've that we have discussions with, multi-million-dollar millionaire people, very nice businesses that they've started and grown. We've all kind of grew up with each other for years. I've known some of these guys for almost 30 years. This is what we all agree on, is that this is business. This is life. This is life. But what you have to do, this has to be you. This has to be you. You have to practice being steady, consistent. Don't let your emotions get you out of control. Don't let other people get you emotional. It does not matter what other people think. No matter what other people think, it just matters to you what you do. What you do. Stop worrying about what other people think. Stop worrying about if you might feel embarrassed. Stop worrying about failure. Stop worrying about you don't even have to worry about success, because the more you fail, the faster you get to success. I'm here to even tell you that. The more I failed made it faster for me to get to success. Now, what you don't know is that your success is like, here is your, if this is failure, if this is failure, let's just say this is that mountain of failure, because you're going to be scared. Your success is like this. It pays for all of that stuff over and over and over again, over and over. Like your success, my first business that I was successful in gave me and my family money for 30 straight years. 30, so you fail and you succeed. And my first business that I started at the age of 21 fed me and my family for 30 years. And it gave me the investment capital to start other companies that are even more successful than that company. So don't get stuck on failure. Don't get stuck on this up and down, this emotional bandwagon, emotional damage, all of that stuff. Exit out. I'm not saying that you don't care. I'm not saying that you don't feel for people. I'm not saying that you don't feel for family. I'm not saying that you don't feel for yourself. But I'm here to tell you, regardless of how you react, the same things are going to happen. So do you want to react to where you're all out of control? Or do you want to react with control? And the control starts with yourself. You do not control other people. So now, one of the big lessons that I learned with being in business is that part of the reasons why people lose control is because they have no consistency to latch on to with their business. Think about the commercials that are being ran in your area, like the attorneys that are running commercials, or different companies that are running commercials, and they're running them over and over and over again. Now, put that in a box right there. Think about all of the times that you hear the news say the economy is bad, people are losing their jobs, inflation, this and that, all of that stuff. So on one side, you have companies that are consistently marketing their products and services. On the other side, you have the scare tactics from people trying to make people paralyze themselves. Oh, you're going to lose your job. Oh, you're going to, inflation, you're going to pay more for stuff than you had to pay years ago, even though we're paying more than what we paid for stuff years ago regardless. They could get you scared with that. All of that stuff. So you have one parallel that's, if you separate them, they're existing together in the same world. But if you separate them, you get to see how your mind is being controlled. And how your mind is being controlled could paralyze you from success in your business. So to circle back around to what I said earlier, I'm going to ask you this question. If you had something in place that guaranteed consistency and income potential and income to your business, how different would you manage all of these ups and downs through your life? I believe that you would manage them a lot different. Once you got yourself to where you understood that you control your reactions, you control your emotions, and that's going to take some work to work through. If you're not of that personality, it's going to take some work to work through. Then you would be able to get some consistency in your business, some consistency in your life, to be able to really work a lot more things out because you have focus. So now let's take a look at what I've came up with. And I'm one of these people that'll look at a lot of stuff. I'm like a very optimistic person. And if someone comes up with an idea, I'll take a look at it. I'll even sometimes be sitting watching a TV show or a sports game, and then I come up with this idea to bring in more customers. I'll be thinking of all of this different stuff, making the better mousetrap, so to speak. But then what I have done, and I think that you'll agree, is that I said, why do you have to come up with a better mousetrap? Why don't you just scale the mousetrap that you already have? And when I started doing that, it made a huge difference. It actually, the businesses that I started later grew 10 times faster than the business that my wife and I started back in 1990. Grew way faster because number one, I mean, you know, I have the experience, but I understood that having something like this in place, and especially with the internet, because the internet did not exist when we started it back then. We had to do this by phone and paper. But this here, well, phone, paper, and mail is what we did back in 1990. You have the internet. You can put this in place for your business and you will just blow it out of. Businesses are doing this, like big corporations are doing this because it's so cheap, it's so effective, it's a simple process to be able to, number one, stay in touch with your potential clients, stay in touch with your clients, and to actually nurture potential clients to want to do business with you. Like, it's just the number one way, and it's going to be here forever. It's going to be here forever in some form or fashion. It might change the look a little bit, but it's going to always be this way. Just like I said, all of those companies that you see advertising all the time, over and over and over again, what is the word that we would use for them advertising over and over again? They are consistent. They're consistently marketing their products and services to get people who want to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in learning more about what you have to offer. Isn't that what business is all about? Like, you can't make someone buy your stuff. You cannot. I cannot make you buy my stuff. You cannot make someone else buy your stuff. All you can do is make the conditions ripe for them to want to buy your stuff. And there's a whole bunch of lessons in doing that. But I can tell you, to get a good start, if you want to put your hand on the ground like you're in the starting gate at a track meet, this is it right here. 3 steps to success in your business. So the first thing is you need to consistently run ads. Consistently run ads. That means to consistently run ads, you're going to have to test and see what ads are working. Yes, that's going to take work. Don't be afraid of that work, because once it works, it's going to be working for you forever. Remember what I said earlier. This is about putting something in place that's going to work for you, not you having to consistently work on it. But you got to do the work to get it in place. And part of that work, just like you going to school, if you went to college, you went to regular grade school, you went to trade school, whatever school you went to, medical school, whatever it is, you had to consistently train to be good at what you had to learn. And then you got experience by doing that job. Same thing with business. A lot of businesses overlook this. They overlook this. They think that just throwing something out there, just throw a flyer out there or throw an ad out there and that's going to work. No. There's billboards all over the place. There's commercials all over the place. There's stuff all over the internet. People think that stuff is fake, all of that stuff. So you got to get good at getting your business in front of people and getting people to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in learning about your business. It is not good enough to just blast advertisement out there and think people are going to buy your product or service. You want them to take an extra step. So once you get good at running ads, the next thing is you want to lead generate. I call this QPC, Qualified Potential Customers. Now, what's the difference between someone who sees your ad and someone who becomes a qualified potential customer? Qualified potential customer is someone who raises their hand. So you might be saying, Steve, they're not at my location. They're not in my office. How are they raising their hand? They're raising their hand by giving you their info. Now, wouldn't you think, let's just look at it this way. If someone sees your ad and they say, oh, I saw that ad, that looks interesting. Maybe, I'll get around to going and checking and maybe giving them a call. And then their kid breaks their arm at soccer and then they forget all about it. The way that you would have to get back to that individual is they have to see your commercial again, and maybe they would call. Maybe. But what if they saw your ad, they gave you their information because they were so interested, and because also you just made their life a lot easier, because now when little Johnny breaks his arm in soccer, they don't have to wait to see that commercial again. Maybe they will see it, but you took an extra step by saying, hey, you filled out a form about getting information about this service that I have to offer. I want to introduce myself. And you could just make very creative email follow-up, text follow-up, or you could even go to extra step, which is something that I've been testing, is AI follow-up, where you are communicating with that individual. Now, this is where the magic starts to happen. Now, if a person saw your ad, opted in, number one, they're raising their hand. I'm serious enough to give you my information, because people protect their name, their email, and phone number. That's money. They protect it. They don't want to just give it out to anybody. So if they give you that information, and then you follow up with them and say, hey, I know you might be busy, but I want to just let you know what we've done for our customers. I want to just let you know what we can do for you. I want to let you know what our pricing is all about. Like, you can tell them everything. You can be fully transparent, and they're going to appreciate that. Now, in this video, I don't have enough time to go through all of the things that you would want to do here, but the number one thing to get the point across is that you want to lead generate qualified potential customers. The next step is where you make your money. Or, depending on what type of business you have, you want to send those qualified potential customers to your sales page. And you want to get good at making a sales page, because if you're good at making a sales page, like I am, let me tell you a quick story that happened to me just last night. Yesterday, on the way home yesterday, after the company had closed, everybody get to go home, eat dinner, time with the family, sales came in. I send out emails to my list every day at around 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and people purchased the service that I have to offer. And then when I woke up this morning, guess what? Someone purchased at 3 a.m. They purchased at 3 a.m. without talking to anyone. They did it on their own. So you're going to want to get good at making a sales page. It's going to take work. This is going to take work. This is going to take work. But if you put the time and the effort into it to learn how to do it right, you're going to make money consistently every day. And remember, the whole point of this video that I said at the beginning, for you to be able to manage your life, is if you had something in place that was consistent, that you wouldn't have to worry about your income, because it's going to be like a revenue. It's going to be like a gold mine that just keeps pulling up gold every day. And why does it pull up gold every day? Because you're consistently marketing the right way every day. Well, from those marketing, how do you know that stuff is working before you had sales? Because people are raising their hands. Qualified potential customers are raising their hands. And then how do you know ultimately that it's all working, that it's came together? Because you're making sales, or you're getting appointments for people to come in to your office if you have insurance or something like that. This system works. I have it in place for all of my businesses. This system works. It will take away the pain of having to worry about who are we going to talk to today. Let me just ask you this question. How many leads did you generate for your business today? How many sales did you generate while you were sleeping? Or how many appointments did you generate sleeping? One of the benefits, think about it this way. If you have to speak to people, like you're an attorney, or maybe you have a credit company, or auto sales company, and this is the difference. Like, please listen to me. This is the difference. If people are coming to you, How many people do you think you would be able to sell? Like, there's some salespeople. I remember in the past, there were some salespeople who thought they were the top salespeople on the planet. And when I had looked at what was going on for them, and this even happened with my company, with some of my sales reps, and they didn't even really, I didn't even really say anything about it because, the end goal for me is let's just make sales. But if you had the processes in place, if you have all of this in place, when you talk to people, they're going to be prepped to buy from you. Basically, they're going to be just talking to you. When you hand it this way, people can only ruin the sale. Because the person, if they get on the phone with you and they done all of this and they get on the phone with you, you can only ruin the sale. That's where it's going to come to you being a good presenter, because you don't have to sell anyone, because they're going to have seen all of the stuff. They're going to have seen everything. So let me ask you, if you had 5, 10, 20, 30 people per day at qualified potential customers, filling out forms, going through your process that you put in work, and know it's not easy at the beginning, but once you figure it out, it works forever. And then you're selling or getting appointments, how many of those people would you sell? That's what you need to be thinking about. Don't think about putting the process in place. Oh, you can train and get that done. You can pay and have someone teach you how to get all of that in place. You can pay and have it all put in place. The thing that you need to focus on is you need to get it in place. Because until you get it in place, your business is not going to be complete. Because you're going to always be worrying about, on a day-to-day basis, how do we even make money in this business? How do we even make money in this business? All right, if you would like any consulting, any training, I have a link above or below this video. I can show you exactly how I've done this, and I can show you proof that I've done it. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, and until next time.